Hi, my name is Brandon, and over the past year, the Delight Cafe team and I traveled across the U.S. researching this rapidly growing industry of CBD products. What we have found throughout the industry were products that were inconsistent in dosage and used ingredients that weren't even lab tested. Products with chalky textures, bitter aftertaste, and worst of all, confusion among the CBD consumers. That's why we created Delight Cafe. A 15 milligram, lab-tested, all-natural, water-soluble hemp CBD powder pack. It's odorless, colorless, and tasteless. Add it to your favorite drink of choice, wherever, whenever, on the go. Quickly find your calm, your balance, your delight when you need it most.
Good morning. Good morning. Java Delight will uplift you. Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. Grab your coffee. Stay tuned. This show is about to begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages. Thank you for joining us today here at Java Delight, a shot of Java to get you through your day with a little dash of delight to keep it going strong. My name is Brandon Croucher, CEO of Delight Cafe, and thank you for joining us. I get to be with the one, the only, the let it go, Ilsa from South Africa. Thank you for joining us this morning, Miss Ilsa. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And you? How has your day been this morning?
I am having a wonderful morning. I got to be on Project Joy this morning. We
Oh,
talk
wow.
about we survived another weekend. I agree with you, Stuart. But we good catch, Jessica. I was on with Jessica Dugas and her friend Tim I'm gonna mess up his last name, Hodgkins. He's a lawyer and a 3-star general and a handsome man that is, we're all about spreading positivity, bringing new things. And what made it a lot of fun was we start the week with talking about how to find that. So she's been doing research on the Hodgkiss. That's it. I knew it was an H. But like we focus on, Jessica got a study from Duke University that has 8 factors of making sure to stick to happiness. And what's interesting about that is how well like that topic needs to be talked about and how much. Like don't be stuck in the negativity. Don't keep reliving it. Things like that. And we got into that this morning. I was in a Care Bear onesie. If you haven't gone over to, and I promised I would.
I have to see that.
I just hung it up. I just put
No,
it on its hanger.
but you have to show me one day, please. I have to see the Care Bear onesie.
I mean, I have a bunch of onesies. Like, you could pick my next one I wear. I could do the Care Bear, Batman. I have a Ninja Turtle onesie, the unicorn. I mean, you just tell me what you want. I have a turkey. I plan to wear the turkey soon. I have a Spider-Man.
Okay. I'm all for it. Anyone. I want to see them all, so you can start at one point and just go for it. Sorry about
Just
it.
literally make it like Mondays are my when Monday are my onesie ones Mondays.
Monday onesies.
Monday onesies. We'll call it Moo. So, but it's been a good weekend. We had a lot of people like just running around. Lots of things to get done. Lots of places to go. Lots of people to see, and it was just A lot. Finishing up some moving on things, having some family things that needed to be moved around and taken care of. It's just been a week. I felt it's been a week, and it was like the weekend. But it was fabulous. I do not have a giraffe onesie. It would be nice to. I don't have a squirrel one either. Thank you, Jessica. It was fabulous to be on this morning. I have to be honest. It was like my internet like went out in the middle of the night, I guess, because I woke up and we had no power anywhere. So I'm like looking around and figuring out what the heck. So I had to reconnect the Wi-Fi and all that. And yeah, it was one of those things where I just had a lot of fun just getting myself ready, getting myself in the moment. I show up 5 minutes late, and then Jessica's like, "We have a Care Bear," and throws me in, and I loved it. It was one of those things. Miranda didn't have power either. I wonder if Miranda and I live by each other. Like, just we're hanging out. Nobody knows. We live in the same city, and we didn't even know that.
That's actually a natural occurrence in South Africa. When it's very cold, we go on load shedding. So what they do is, because the grid can't handle everybody's electricity, then they give this section electricity and yours is off, and they actually give you a roster to tell you how long your electricity is going to be off and on what days. So they shift it around. Yes.
Really? That just seems like a lot. Like in my eyes.
It's frustrating.
Very
and
much so.
It's usually between peak hours when people are at home cooking.
Miranda. Yes, you are right by me. I'm in Cleveland as well. I'm on the east side, but I lived in Berea, and I just literally moved to the east side. That's hilarious. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so that's what they do, and they do it in peak hours. So you get home 6 o'clock in the evening, and you have to cook, and there's 2 hours no electricity, nothing, off for the whole. It's traffic lights, everything.
So, all right. In California, they do these rolling blackouts. In Texas, they had a problem this last winter where they actually got hit, and they did rolling blackouts for a little bit there to keep enough power. I don't know how you determine who gets and who doesn't get power. It seems like just I'm going to say power struggle. But when you think about it, like, how do you pick who has it? Like, so Brett has money.
Everybody gets a turn. No, everybody gets a turn. So they like on a Monday, it will be, let's say, from 6 till 8 in the morning. On a Tuesday, it will be from 8 till 10, and then it moves on. So everybody gets the electricity cut off on that day, but just further down the road. So
interesting. So, and you said when it comes, right?
Yes, they actually have a roster on their websites where you can go and check. And on the minute, if they have to switch it on, they switch it on. They never late with that. Never, ever, ever.
Like, yes. Could you imagine, like, you're like, okay, I hope they're a minute late, and you're like, I don't know, watching TV, writing a paper for school, going to go whatever, and then all of a sudden, boop. And Miranda, I gotta thank you. I love you. Cafe Aroma is I love Cafe Aroma. Rob and them there love my product, and I am beyond grateful. So please know how much I appreciate you throwing that out there. Thank you so much. I go out there once a week just to say hi to Rob. I'm trying to play golf with him, but I suck at golf, so that's probably why he doesn't want to play with me. But I just want to thank you for that. That's why I prefer to cook with fire. I love cooking with fire. I did something fun this weekend. A couple things. Let's start with a fun one. Ready? Watching Java Delight and then having a brownout. That would really suck. I mean, I think you're meaning two different things there, but I'm gonna go with that. But like, I got to have a conversation with Ms. Jessica Dugas, and while I was on the phone, I got to play with her daughter Leah. Sorry, Leo is not the right name. It's Leonardo is the Ninja Turtle on my arm. But I got to play with her daughter Leah, and Leah is very into dinosaurs right now. So she comes in, and she's, I think, 5 right now. Look, and she's showing me things. It was the cutest thing ever. Like this, she did not give a shit that her mom and I were in the middle of a conversation. She's like, "This is my favorite. It is the Mr. Rex." And she's just cute as a button and making me laugh. And I go, "Have you ever seen a dinosaur bone up close?" She's like, "No." I'm like, have you ever gone to the history museum where you can like look at them and there's like a big dinosaur right in front of you? And she's like, no. And I go, yeah, here's the thing. You can't touch them. I got in trouble for that. She goes, looks me dead in the eyes as serious as she could be. And she goes, what if I wash my hands? And I just like lost it. I didn't expect that. I was like, yep, I have no idea. So have you ever been kicked out of a museum? Because I've been close twice to being kicked out of museums.
I haven't been in too many museums. I've behaved myself in them because we went with school and so and I've no. But maybe I should try that. Maybe that should be on my bucket list.
It should be. It should be.
Getting chased 100%. Out of a museum. Okay, no, definitely. That's definitely on my bucket list.
I don't want anybody to go do something ridiculous, but like when you're with your friends, the Cleveland Museum of History has this wine and dine with the extinct. And what it is you go have wine and they have local breweries and you get to walk around and you get to be with the dinosaurs. But there's so many people there that you can get into trouble without meaning to, especially with drinking. So I was dared to lick a dinosaur bone. And they have like fences around them that are like seriously like I'm standing. So like to my chest, like where the Guinness sign is where like you can't lean over, you can't touch, stuff like that. Well, I was dared to lick one. And I will just say this. I got the lick. I really did. And the security guard was not mad. They were more impressed with my somersault around the bar and back out and just standing there like I didn't do it. Because I like leaned all the way, feet in the air. I go to lick it, and then right when my tongue touches the dinosaur bone, I fall, and I have to do a complete flip. I got the lick. Yes, I did. I got the lick in there. I wasn't holding back. I was wanting. I also have a very long tongue, so like I was like, all right, go gadget tongue.
Oh my word!
How you doing?
That was unexpected.
I apologize. That was one of the unexpected.
No, it's fine.
Oh my god! But yeah, like so, I did that, and then the other one was.
Did they have a photo?
No.
Were there no? When? How long ago was that?
I bet you, Miranda. All right, ready? You and I are going to challenge each other. I want to see who has the longest tongue. Take a selfie, send it to my Facebook, Brandon Croucher. Here's how you spell my name. Boom, right there. Literally, send it to me. It's me with a Ninja Turtle mug blocking my face because I'm adorable, but I don't think so always. So, so I lick the bone, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly my picture. You know, I'm like, hiding behind it. I literally licked it. Security walks up and my friends are all like scattering. Like you would have thought we just like robbed a bank and they left me there. I'm like looking around and security comes up and goes, you know, you can't do that. And I go, I really didn't break any rules. I kind of landed on the outside of it still. And he thought that was funny, but he didn't. So it made for an entertaining time. Now, the second time I almost got kicked out. This one was bad.
There's more than one time.
Oh God. How many times have you, how many bones have you broken?
Only my nose.
How many times?
Only once.
7. My nose.
Oh wow. What did you do?
I'm a rambunctious kid.
Gee. Well,
Miranda, however you need to get it to me. Sorry, go ahead. Miranda, however you need to get it to me. I bet you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I'm almost picking my nose with my tongue. It's so gross. But then the boogers just fall right in. It's wonderful. So go ahead. I see Brett in the background shaking his head.
Accident prone. He actually got hit with a golf club against the head last year and cracked his whole skull.
Your son did?
Yes, his friend was standing like this and he swung and my son was standing behind him and he hit him on the eye. But it was an accident. and cracked the whole skull, and they had to put a plate in his eye. I'm like, my child, you're gonna make me so old before my time. He
My
sits in the car,
child.
but the blood is pouring because it was a huge gash. You could see his skull. He sits in the car. He goes, things like this happen, mommy. I'm like, yes, whatever. Let's just deal with it because things like these happen. He said, this happens. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was a stressful experience. I mean, to go through that 7 times, no,
No.
thanks.
Well, but like, so, all right, there's multiple layers to this before I sound completely like a lunatic. Let's see, the first thing was the Olympics were on. So I thought I was able to be like a javelin person, and I was a kid and I was cleaning up the yard, and I throw a stick into the woods and it hits a tree. No joke. Just right, comes back and goes shoo, 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 boom. Hits me in the nose. I go down. I go to the hospital. My parents have to take me to the hospital. Mom does. Dad tells me to go back out. Stop wasting time. I go home. I come home with a cast over my face. Like I literally. And if you look close, my nose is crooked to this day.
Mine as well.
It's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yours doesn't look. You look beautiful. You look wonderful. Miranda does have quite the long tongue. She just sent me a picture of her, and I can't open it on the screen that I have, but I did on my phone. I'll tell you this, Miranda, I think we're gonna have to get tape measures out and really measure this, because like I that was an impressive. That sounds really weird compliment to give somebody, but that's an impressively long tongue. Jessica, do you get like, how you doing? I got a really long tongue. Like that just doesn't sound appropriate. Jessica Dugas says she's not going to do this, but I have the longest tongue. I don't know. Miranda's tongue right there.
Okay,
Literally,
so now you have to have a competition now. Everybody we have to see who's got the longest tongue between everybody.
And that's all I want to know now. Who has the longest tongue among us? The tongue among us. I love it. So, like, the other time I almost got kicked out, I know you want to know this one. Trust me.
I do.
So, Cleveland has a very, very deep, like, representation in art and the culture, okay? And the city of Cleveland has a huge art museum. They just did a $1 billion addition to the art museum. It's huge. What's interesting about that was they have all this classic, like for real Roman Empire, and further back, all of it is like classic stuff that was built. Well, one of them is a wooden chest, and it looks like a big toilet. Okay. It has a little hole in the middle. I thought it was a toilet. I didn't think it was a real toilet, so I was kidding around. And I'm on a date, and I go to sit on it. And I'll tell you this, my cheeks didn't even touch the seat. And then all of a sudden, alarms were going off everywhere.
Oh,
and
crap.
I'll tell you this, it might not have been a shitter, but I think I shit myself. So, like, I
would as well.
I'm like, like screaming. My date that I'm with is like, you're not supposed to touch him. I'm like, my cheeks didn't touch shit. Like, I don't know. Literally, like, it was the funniest thing. Security from 4 different locations come running around, and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, I think I bumped it. And they were like, okay, so nothing fell. Everybody's okay. I'm like, yeah. But they kept an eye on me. Do you know how fun it is to walk around an art museum having security being like, he's looking at he's looking at the Van Goghs. We've got him. Keep an eye on it.
Eagle. The eagle has left.
He's looking like he's gonna go after Starry Night. Get ready. Like, I'm sitting there like the date was laughing at me because I wouldn't stop making jokes. I'm like, I kind of want to
get a second date.
I ended up engaged to her later on in life.
Done.
Like,
well
we're still very close today. She will make that joke. I'm amazed she doesn't like just chime in here and say something, because we seriously, when I was a baby, it didn't fit in my mouth. Oh my God. I don't know what to say to that. It just like caught me longing Wait, what is this? Longing Tongues is the name of my new dating site. Oh, I already signed up, Ryan. My name is Bear Care Bear Brandon.
Bear Care Bear Brandon.
Yeah, because bear means naked, so like I'm a naked Care Bear.
Oh, that kind of bear. Oh, okay.
I'm not afraid to bear at all.
You got some fur already.
Oh, I do have some fur already.
Exactly.
So I did have some fun this weekend. I went out to help people move some things and get things around, and I went to my ex-fiance's house, and her and I were. She has some of my things still, so I had to go pick it up. First thing out of her mouth, "What did you do wrong to your beard?" I'm like,
everybody lied because they say like you can't even notice it.
First thing out of her mouth.
That's the first thing you thought.
First thing, I looked at myself in the camera and I'm like, oh my God, I look so Amish. And then she turns around and sees me face to face and is like, yeah, what'd you do? What'd you do and why?
Where did it all go wrong?
Why did you trim it so short? I didn't mean to. I was trying to make it align, and then one went too far, one went too. This is why they pay people to do these things, because people like me who have ADHD go to trim, and then we get distracted and we shave a lot lower than we mean.
What?
So what have you gotten up to? What was your weekend like? What did you get into? I understand you saw some pretty exotic animals.
I did. So yesterday morning, I woke up. I slept late. I slept till 10 o'clock, which was amazing. I woke up and I was like, I need to get fresh air. And then about 40 minutes away from us, there's a hiking trail between the expensive houses there in Pretoria. Beautiful houses, beautiful area. And we saw, I think, I don't know what buck it is. I've got a video of it. I'll send it to you. But it's like little bucks running around there. And then I was driving on the highway to my daughter, and I saw a giraffe like next to the highway. Yes, a giraffe like standing there. And
is that normal?
And it was, not usually, but I think that is a rich area, and they might have some exotic pets walking around there because there's rich people in South Africa. So it's some kind of golf estate or something, but there was a giraffe and I saw it and I was like, this is so awesome. But I was busy driving, so I couldn't take a picture.
So it's a golf estate
and
they randomly have a pet giraffe.
Yeah, there's a couple of these estates in South Africa where they've got giraffes and eland and different kinds of animals walking between the houses and stuff.
Who has... Hey, sweetie, I hung out with her this weekend. I hung out with her and her wife. We had a bonfire. We sat outside just chilling. And a fire pit fire. Their neighbors were moving, so we were eyeing the things that if they leave behind, we're going to want to grab and stuff like that, like a bar. I am not afraid to be... It's fun. Have you ever looked... Brandon, you are like Jim Carrey in the movie The Mask. You're smoking today. You're on fire.
It's that shirt. It's definitely that shirt. I like that shirt. You look good.
Really? Thank you.
Yes.
I was going to compliment you today. You look good. Like, you look like you were ready for the day. Like, you've already worked your day and all that. Like, this is unbelievable. So, thank you for being able to come in and say hi with us today. Elsa's like always like, so question. Next time you see the giraffe, can you do me a favor? And see if you can stick your tongue out with the giraffe, because giraffes do have a long tongue. And then see if you can get it. I mean, just see if you can both get leads.
There's actually a restaurant somewhere in South Africa or somewhere in Africa where giraffes put their heads through the window and eat food off your plate.
I'm sorry. Where is this?
I'm gonna Google it and then I'm gonna send you the link. There's places like that here. You can play with little cubs, lion cubs. I don't like doing it because I don't think they must be in captivity, but I know there's laws coming in against that, but just you can see that in South Africa. You can see that. That's where they're from.
Miranda and I are on the same page. Her and I are just like soul bonded right now. Like imagine I cannot tell you if I'm eating breakfast, I have a dog right next to me right now, and he'll give me his puppy eyes, and I'll break off a piece of whatever I'm eating, like crust of my toast from this morning, toss it down to him, and he's just like, oh, a giraffe coming in with its big ass tongue. It's like and going to eat something, I am literally going to lose my mind. I'm going to be like, come here, hi.
I'm gonna find the links because those are ones that roam around. But and I'll send you some pictures and some links on the property and stuff that's here where they have the
Why would you
wild
leave
animals.
that? Why would you leave that? You want them? Yeah, that's right. I stalled you there. Do you know what I saw that was wild this morning? A turkey. Do you know what it did? It went at me, and that's it. I didn't get anything else.
South Africa has the most beautiful tourist places, but economically, it's not. It's a struggle to live here. It's a struggle to live here. The economy is down the drain. The health system is down the drain. Everything. It's.
So what if I trade you? I will move to South Africa. Miranda and I are moving because we're going to walk around and pet. Like I have applied for a job already. I'm going to be a professional giraffe petter, and I just walk around petting giraffes and wild animals. You know, like sit, Ubu, sit. Like. So Miranda and I are going to move to South Africa. You're going to come and live in Berea, Ohio. Okay. So what that means is you're going to be right by the professional football team, and you can literally walk around. They're called the dog pound. Like we really are. We're dogs. We bark. We have fun. So as football fan, I'm warning you. Your bunny can come as long as it's nice. I had a mean bunny once. He hated me. Literally at the pet store, asleep in my arms, the most wonderful thing. I'm loving it. I'm petting it. I'm holding it. This son of a bitch, the minute we get home, he decides, no, F you. I don't want you to be my owner. That thing bit everybody. It chased people. It stomped all the time. Like, I can't even tell you. You saw the picture, Brandon. I did. So the bunny's nice. We're going to bring the bunny with us. It's going to come with us.
Bunnies are welcome.
Bunnies are welcome and never bit anyone. Oh, all right. Perfect. That's what I want. Bunny. Like, what's the bunny's name? That way I don't just keep calling her Bunny. Like
Lola.
Lola. That's the one from Space Jam.
Yes.
She's in that one, just so you know.
Oh, I like Lola.
They do have a Michael Jordan appearance.
Oh, some nostalgia from the first movie. Because I grew up with it. Yes.
Me too. It was one of my favorite growing up. And my big thing with this one was there was a lot of significance going back to the original movie, which is something that I liked because it was more of a story for LeBron and Akron. So isn't it? Oh, it didn't open. Stop touching stuff. Shiloh. Yep. And he's
That's Brad's daughter's name.
That I love it. And he's a he, but he's open to any pronouns. He hasn't determined his gender yet. Understood.
I love that.
Perfect. I love it. I am all about that. I love it. I think it's great. We're going to be playing with Shiloh and Jeffrey the giraffe and being able to like enjoy it. And if anybody gets my Jeffrey the giraffe joke, you win 5 life points. Okay. Like that is a very old school joke.
Can I spam you with photos on your Facebook page? I will send you the things that I saw and the links on the giraffes and everything. And if you guys ever want to come and visit me, it's cheap for Americans to come to South Africa. I'll go. Now,
when you say cheap, what is cheap?
Well, if in our You get 15 rand for $1. So if you have $1,000,
Yeah.
and I must just do my math now. 1,000 times 15, it's 15,000. You get
Yes.
15,000 for $1,000.
Really?
Yeah, it's between 15 and 16,500. So
Really? Oh, that bunny is adorable, Miranda. Miranda's sending me pictures. I'm still fascinated by this tongue. Like, for real, I think that she's like licking her knees. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to like get it in there for everybody to see, but it's not going to work for me right this second. Like that is the biggest tongue I've ever seen. Like Gene Simmons and Kiss is jealous. Like, good Lord. So we actually have a special guest coming on in a second. He is someone I can lick my elbow. Sorry, that just took me off guard. Yeah.
Oh no, I wanted to say, can't everybody lick their elbows? And I'm like, okay, no, there's
no.
Wow.
Brett's back there laughing at us, but guess what, Brett? I love you so much. Go ahead, Elsa.
Brett mustn't laugh. Everybody's got a party trick that they can do better than somebody else.
Do you know what you should do? Let's ask Brett Gordon what his party trick is.
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Brett Gordon.
Good morning. How are you?
Can you pick your nose with your tongue?
No.
Can you lick your elbow with your tongue?
No, but I can pick my nose with my finger.
That doesn't count. That's not a party trick. What is your party trick, Brett Gordon? Show us what your party trick is.
I can make dogs pregnant.
Wow.
We're not going to go there. We're just going to change the subject.
I was shocked.
No, I can take balloon animals and make pregnant dogs.
Oh wow.
Let me see myself out.
What did I say? Word forming is very important.
No, that's what I learned in college. My first semester in college was learning how to make balloon animals. And one of those that I could make is a dog that's got little things in the stomach. So it looks like a pregnant dog.
That is so awesome. You have to show me. That I have to see.
We need this picture. I need pictures of this, Brett. I don't believe that it's true. I think you're lying to us. Brett is.
I'll have to go get some balloons so that I can actually demonstrate.
Right, a little context would have helped there. I agree. Like this is what we teach. This is what they teach at Air Force boot camp. I'm sorry, that one has me going. That was a funny one. So Brett is coming on to talk to us today about movies, but we've done something a little different. We want to talk to you guys this morning. Brett, you've got 3 movies aligned. 3, not 6. You have 3 movies ready. What are those 3 movies that you want us to choose of what we're going to talk about this week?
Okay, so for one square at a time, rather than us choosing the movies this week, we're going to give you guys a choice as to which movies you'd like us to review. We actually have 3 prepared. It could be The Greatest Showman, Wreck-It Ralph, or the movie Hook with Dustin Hoffman.
Oh my God, that's who you pick? Robin Williams.
And Dustin Hoffman, but Dustin Hoffman was actually Hook.
He was, but when you think of Hook, who do you think of? I think of Robin Williams right off the bat. I like, you could be...
Yeah, but why did we choose Hook to begin with? Because we were talking about the villain as opposed to the hero.
You are
actually,
100%
when you think about it, Robin Williams, to a certain degree, was also villainous in the movie.
He was. And there's a lot that goes into that one. So, all right. Someone has an echo. I'm going to go with Brett just because I know him. But Brett, so we have a vote for Hook. Okay, Hook is a great pitch. I love Hook. We're going to be focusing on Dustin Hoffman's character, not Robin Williams. If we go towards the other side of that and we want to do The Greatest Showman, Hugh Jackman, I have to be honest, that's one of my favorite movies. I spin fire to that. I might even spin fire during that episode because that's how much I enjoy that. It's one of my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
That's one of the musicals or musical movies that I like, was the Hugh Jackman one, because I'm not very big into musicals. So, but that was a very good one.
Got it. See, I'm not into musicals either. I am, but I'm not. Like, I did Wicked, and oh my God, can I say Wicked? I low-key am. It has to keep my attention. Like, Wicked, oh
Mamma
my God.
Mia?
I've done Mamma Mia. I've sang Mamma Mia. Like, there's a few. All right, I'm sorry. We stole Brett's thunder. Go ahead, Brett.
No. So I agree with Ilsa, and that, for me, it's very difficult to follow a movie that's a musical, especially if the lyrics are supposed to be meaningful in terms of the storyline, because I have a hard time understanding words when they're in a song. And it gives me a headache.
The songs, the music in that specific movie, the soundtrack is a very, very good soundtrack. There's a couple of beautiful songs on there that anybody can resonate with. It's very
well. That's why I actually pulled up the words so I could read them, because then I understood, really what they were trying to say, or what they were saying, but I was trying to understand. So those are the movies that we got to choose from. And then, we will actually do that movie as part of the live interactive version on Thursday, as we interact with the audience and get a better understanding of what your thoughts were on the movies. So looking forward to that. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. Brandon kisses a dinosaur in the museum. Yes, there you go.
Oh, Mamma Mia. Gavin comes in here. I love this. His comment, he goes, he did not say the one I thought for sure he was going to say with Hamilton. He and I listened to Hamilton at least 3 times on the drive to and back from Cleveland to Vegas. But he's got a bunch of good suggestions here, are all great musicals to check out. And then circus movies. The Dumbo remake was way better. I actually agree. I did like the Dumbo remake. Sarah Nelson, don't lie. You did love the Gloria Stefan musical. I did. Sarah, you might have missed the beginning of the show where we were talking about museums I've almost been kicked out of. Don't hesitate to throw your comment in about me sitting on the one thing at the art museum. I was telling that story today. Everybody already knows Hamilton. So I do have a funny story for Gavin really quick. And this is a true story. The other day, I'm playing on my Spotify, and all I'm doing is trying to find something different to listen to. And it comes up with a new playlist, Your Top Songs of 2020. I click it. Every single one of them was show tunes. And I'm sitting there going, what? Like, where did this come from? I'm like, this shows I let Gavin have my phone for way too long when we were driving. Yes. And ready? Hey, look at this. Ready? He almost got arrested. I did. They were mad at me. I'll give you guys all a clue. Do not go sit on an ancient toilet because they will not like it, especially if it's in a museum. Like, go to the one where there's actually doors. Like, if you've ever been kicked out of a museum or you think you have the longest tongue in the world, please send it to us, because right now Miranda.
Well, don't lick the toilet in a museum.
Lick the toilet you lick the dinosaur bones at a museum.
Lick the dinosaur bones and sit on the toilet. I got it.
Johnny on the pot.
Right?
Johnny on the pot.
Johnny on the pot. The ward. I sat on it. My butt cheeks barely touched it. Like, I left an indent. I apologized to the art museum. The wardrobe is not a Johnny spot. See, she's not afraid to throw me under a bus here like this because I admit it too. She's like, you should have seen it. If I put her on here, she would lose her shit. She'd be like, you guys should have seen it. Like, her and I pick on each other, but it's in a cute way where we still like respect each other in a weird way. But really deep down inside, she was hoping I got arrested, and that would have been her sign to run away from me. Just saying.
The big red flag.
Would have been perfect.
Oh God, I need to run from this one. He gets arrested on our dates.
On the first dates.
Right? Like, ugh. So, all right, Brian. So you got Hook. We have, I want to say Space Jam, which is not right at all. We have Hook, The Greatest Showman, and Wreck-It Ralph. Got it. So that is our vote. What of those three? Now, Brett, throw a suggestion out there. I know Elsa says she's seen all three. She's all about all three. She is one of those people that. Gavin's sending me a shit ton of pictures right now about the bones he's licked as well. And that's what's funny is he sent me a picture of him at the art museum. That at the Smithsonian. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My ADD kicked in there. Oh, the Smithsonian's huge. So many things to see there. If like Elsa, when you get here, we trade, and we move to South Africa because Miranda and I are going to move to South Africa apparently together. So sorry, Sarah. We're just going to become professional giraffe petters, and that's just a goal of ours.
On the fridge, I'll leave a list where you have to go to find the giraffes. Okay, I'll give you a whole. You don't even have to search for them. I'll show you exactly where to go.
That is fun. Like, you go here first. This is where you'll find the alligators.
Yeah.
The rhinos that you're going to want to definitely pet. Like, we know, I can already tell. Like, and there's penguins down in South Africa. So that is where I'm going to be like.
There's a whole island. Robben Island is full of penguins. I've been there before once. But there's so many places. I've been to Table Mountain.
That sounds like Jurassic Park Island.
It might just be. It might just be.
I already lived Jurassic Park with Jessica's kids this weekend. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So, Brett, what movie are you wanting to talk about? And fans, we would love to hear what movie you're looking to get into because we actually are going to let you choose what we're doing this Thursday. So, I vote Greatest Showman. Okay, that's a Brandon vote right there. Greatest Showman. I love Hook. I love Greatest Showman. I love Wreck-It Ralph. But at the end of the day, Greatest Showman. Next, Elsa, tell us, what do you want to talk about? Which one would you think you could have the most connecting with?
I think I'm going to go with a villain. I have to go with Hook.
Hook. All right, there's 1 and 1. Hook. What do you do for a living? I'm a hooker.
I'm a hooker.
Hey, I was a hooker.
You haven't?
I played rugby. I was a hooker.
Oh, wow. You played rugby?
Yeah,
I think
I played rugby.
I played one season of rugby when I was in college because Michelob, the beer company, they were our sponsors. So after every home game, Michelob gave us 2 kegs of beer that we could that we had at our party. So I was a hooker for a year.
Oh wow! I know that it's a rugby joke, not a South African joke. But I didn't know that USA played rugby. So
yeah, and in fact, Las Vegas actually is now going to have a professional rugby team here.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's true. I just read that. That is 100. Brett was the baller.
My son's going to be over the moon because
What's up,
he
Kendall?
really wants to play rugby because he's very, very good at it.
That's the most college shit I've ever heard. That's awesome. And then right here, Sarah says, I vote for Pretty Woman. Sarah, that wasn't one of the options. We can do that later, but that's not an option right now. Maybe we should just do Pretty Woman. Miranda, you haven't given me your vote, and Brett already voted Hook. So technically, Hook has 2 votes. Our next one would be I got to say hi to Kendall again, just because I clicked it on accident. But I want to make sure they know we appreciate you're here. The Kendall Army. We're all part of the Kendall Army. Yep. So yeah. So all right, we've got 2 for Hook, 1 for Greatest Showman. And Brett, you said you're wanting to do striptease?
No, that I'll leave up to you. Oh, no. There we go again. I should have never said it.
So Miranda hasn't seen any of these, which makes me go, wow, which one of these would I rather her see? Like, I think Hook is an essential. I think that Wreck-It Ralph would be a very important one to watch, just because it really does bring a lot of lessons in there. But then the last thing I would say is The Greatest Showman is a really good feel-good story right now.
If Brandon does a striptease to The Greatest Showman, it would end up being The Hairiest Showman.
Hugh Jackman is, in your defense, Hugh Jackman is also hairy. He's the Wolverine. So you can't do a Hugh Jackman.
I don't have an answer to you on this at all. Like, Hugh Jackman's my soulmate because we're both hairy. Is that what we're saying? Like,
no.
Him and I. All right, so we have Hook. We have Wreck-It Ralph. I stick with, I think that The Greatest Showman is a great connect you movie, feel good movie. I think we're going to be able to have a good conversation. But we do have two for Hook. Hook strictly for Robin Williams' role. And honestly, if there was going to be a tipping point to get me to talk about one of these movies, Hook would be the movie that I would probably pick, because you could connect it for Captain Hook. You could connect it for Peter Pan. You could connect it for a lot of these. Debbie does Dallas.
Debbie did Dallas.
And then Brandon did Vegas. Ooh. 100% true. I did Vegas. I ran around it. So, all right, buddy. Fernando, I will vote Fernando Proxy for Greatest Showman. Fernando and I are both on Greatest Showman. There's 2 for Greatest Showman, 2 for Hook, and technically 3 for Hook, because Miranda Greatest Showman didn't even get 1 star from me. My heart just broke, Stuart. Like, why? What didn't you like about it? Is it because the original story is a lot more negative and it's not really like it? They put the Hollywood fluff on Greatest Showman. They didn't show you that Barnum was actually a tyrant and very angry and always demanding things. He wasn't very well respected and stuff like that. Was it that, and that they made him look like a good guy, or is it the fact that you just really didn't even like it? I'm curious what your feelings were towards The Greatest Showman. Just curious. Gavin, I know you're here. Throw up a comment. Is it Hook or Greatest Showman? Those are the 2 that are winning right now. I'm not reading that comment out loud.
Not even show that one.
Nope, not even going to show that one. So today, Brett, before I let you get into your descriptions of why we are going to pick our movie, is we actually have really awesome guest coming on. His name is Trent Hudson. Trent produces cartoons and does stand-up comedy. So if anybody writes, "Oh, tell me a joke," I'm going to punch you, just because it's the worst thing you could ask a comedian. And I'm probably not going to punch you. I'm just going to tell you that. So he worked with Comedy Central, Showtime, and Kevin Hart's LOL network. He also owns a coffee company that makes a healthy alternative from date seeds. He doesn't do caffeine, and there's a reason why that we'll talk about. He has experience starting multiple businesses from nothing and believes he can bring a lot of value to your listeners through his experience, insight, and comedy. So do not go anywhere. Trenton will be right on in a few. And right when I kick Brett out of the cafe and tell him he's been too inappropriate and he's been too sexy for everybody, that's when I kick Brett out and we bring in Trent. So be ready. I don't enjoy musicals that sing the story. Disney movies are the worst thing ever produced. So I agree. Disney movies are the worst thing ever produced. But at the same point, they're very entertaining. A lot of people love them. It is a cult following. I watch them, and I agree with you, Stuart. But I also think it's fun to sometimes singing the movie is fun. Sometimes singing the movie, because I got into that one because of the singing, and I don't know why. Gloria Stefan's movie or Broadway show, I got into that too. I just like when the energy is just really upbeat, and you're like, oh, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat of your breath.
That's like Brandon, you got into Newsies, and that was musical too.
I got into Newsies because of something else, though. So for Newsies, when I had my restaurant, the Newsies, it is a Broadway play with kids that are newspaper people, and they're selling.
And it was a Christian Bale Disney movie.
It was the movie. The actual like Broadway play, I felt more connected to because all of the actors ate in my restaurant. So, like, I got to know them personally, their parents and all that. I was feeding and cooking them and just having a really good time. And what was interesting to me was how these actors were younger than me to just about my age at that time. And they had such a down-to-earth personalities. They were nothing like their characters on stage. They had so much fun. They're in town for 3 weeks. They give us tickets. My entire staff received free tickets to go to a show, but we didn't know where we were going. And they like where we were sitting in that, and we actually sat second row. And what is really cool about that is while they were on stage, they saw and knew where we were. So as stage is moving around, they're literally waving us. And like my whole staff lost their minds, and I did too. I don't want to sound anything like Mother Brandon. Yes, thank you. But like I literally like connected with them, and it made it where while they were on stage you felt that energy differently, and then the people all around us were laughing because they were like, how do you guys know them? And we're like, we're feeding them right across the street. And they were like, it made for a wonderful time, and it made me connect with the play in a totally different way. So yeah. So Brett, oh, I'm sorry, Elsa, go ahead, hon.
No, it's fine. No, it's an interesting story. I like hearing your guys' stories of the things that you guys do. So.
Yeah, because we don't get to pet giraffes and all that. Gosh, like you like, from singing in the shower, brought to you VHS so you can pretend in public not to look bad when lip singing. 100% true. I don't sing in public, as weird as that sounds. I will sing here and screw around. I'll sing happy birthday. I'll dance for you. I'll even do a little show. But
are you a showman?
That's a good one. That reminds me, I got to do something. All right, I have to put on a onesie after this and do something for Jessica's husband. I promised I'd send a video of me in my one onesie. Spinning fire, that's the one I used to perform in. So I promised, and I haven't done it yet. I see the look on Elsa's face. She's like, wait, what did you do? I got to know. You spun fire? Yes, on stage, in front of crowds, in a suit, a whole onesie that could easily catch fire. So we had people ready to like put me out. Yeah.
Are you gonna show me, please, one day?
Not on air. I can't do it on air. I promise I will.
When I get there, I'm gonna meet all of you guys. Not if I get there. When I get there, I'm gonna meet everybody. So you have to show me your party trick. I want to see.
But Miranda and I are moving to you. How are we going to see each other? Like on the planes? Like we'll like switch in the planes in the air?
I'll go 2 weeks later so I can show you where to go, and then.
I love this, and I'll just give you my passport.
For 2 weeks.
I will literally hand you my passport, and you could just go be Brandon. No one will recognize the difference. Like you have hair.
No one will know.
Nope, we're just gonna shave your head and put it on the bottom. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna have a very long beard.
You can have a long beard. All right, so Brett's show on Thursday is One Square at a Time, and it is a leadership perspective of learning and building and growing. Brett's been on vacation for the last 2 weeks. He's been running around. He met up with his girlfriend, just in case you didn't know. By the way, we're still trying to figure out how much Brett makes because his girlfriend is way out of his league. So we're all wondering how he got her. And she is the cutest with him. Like the two of them together in pictures are like, hi. But then you get Bob Seymour in there, and he like squeezes in between. He's like, hey guys, how you doing, pretty girl? Like I love
Bob Seymour is awesome. So you can't. If Bob's in any picture with you, it's an awesome picture.
Miranda says she's picking you up from the airport. That way, it's because she's right next to the airport in Cleveland, so it's perfect.
Hey, Brandon, I found when I was on the trip, I found a hat for you, or I found a hat that I thought would represent you.
I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I have to come. Like, I need to come to Vegas for that hat, I think. Like, that hat just makes my day. It made my heart so happy.
There you go. See? Sparkles and butterflies, and it makes the world go round.
There's still room for more sparkles there.
Yeah, I see room too. I think we can
get
get sparkles. I could bedazzle the hell out of that.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I love it. So, Mr. Gordon,
Las Vegas.
You're gonna do Las Vegas, Elsa. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. So,
Brett Gordon, I wanna.
You're responsible for before the end of the show, getting everybody's vote on what we're doing on Thursday. Okay?
It sounds like right now we're tied between Hook and The Greatest Showman. Wreck-It Ralph didn't even get one vote, so we'll have to do him later.
I mean, I saw how you phrased that on purpose, baiting me for a joke. Wreck-It Ralph is a great movie, but does it fit where we're at with this? Because I think that like you pulled two very big ones. Like Wreck-It Ralph kind of like that.
Well,
like,
Wreck-It Ralph is one that's not as popular in terms of the movie, in terms of the message that we pulled from the movie. I think it's pretty on point with a lot of the crap that's going on today, in fact. In the world today, where people have this belief that life around them is not under their control.
You know what? That's a good point. But is Wreck-It Ralph really worth it? It is a good movie. I will testify to that. Is it worth being able to? Worth being able to do an entire like leadership thing when you can do Captain Hook? And Hook, we can use an hour of. Like Brett's making his sales pitch here. So
no. What I'm saying is that we're going to do Wreck-It Ralph one of these days. We've already done the pre-recorded version, and I think it brought out some pretty interesting life lessons, and that's what we'll focus on, even if people haven't seen the movie, because the movie, I honestly had not seen the movies. There's two of them. I had not seen the movies until Joe brought it up, and I was like, okay, then I will take a look at them. And it actually had a lot more in there than I had anticipated. That's for sure.
Wreck-It Ralph is a phenomenal movie with life lessons. Stuart Lone Wolf hit it right on the head there and all that. You know what? We still have another hour. We might have to ask our guest today what his opinion is on that too, because I don't know if Trenton has seen these movies, but Wreck-It Ralph to The Greatest Showman and Hook are the three choices that we're having choose for Thursday's conversation of leadership, and which one Brett's going to teach us about leadership from. So I will make sure to ask Trenton about that. He's going to be on in the next few minutes. Brett, you're going to be in the comments having some fun, getting everybody talking about it and choosing what movie. My vote, if we go Hook, I want to make sure I have a spot where we talk about Robin Williams. If we go Greatest Showman, I can just spin fire and have entertained for everybody. That's like, I love that movie. Guys, go ahead, Elsa.
No, so I think both of them are good movies. So
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that came out of both movies in terms of life and leadership. So I think it really doesn't matter which movie we're going to go with in terms of messaging. There's going to be some great conversation. Anybody I highly encourage people to watch the pre-recorded version that Brandon and I actually did in terms of the review, so that you get a better understanding of the direction that we were going, the tool that we selected, and so forth. And that really helps to take that conversation in the live interactive version into something that's more personal, something that you want to bring out, things that you saw in the movie that maybe we didn't, or things that touched you in a way that we might have missed, and that type of stuff. So really watching that recorded version is I think not only good in terms of the message that we bring out, but in terms of the conversation for the live interactive version. So that would be cool.
I love it.
It's kind of like watching Bob on Friday and then getting a chance to actually meet him in person and spend a whole day with him. Live and interactive. It was freaking awesome.
I can imagine.
I can't, right? So, all right, Brett, I'm going to have to let you go. We'll pull you to the back. I have Trenton coming on. He produces cartoons, does stand-up comedy, worked with Comedy Central, Showtime, and Kevin Hart's LOL network. He owns his own coffee company that makes healthy alternative from date seeds. He does not do caffeine because he had a heart attack at the age of 20. That's just wild, right? He has the experience starting multiple businesses from nothing and believes he can bring a lot of value to your listeners through his experiences, insight, and my favorite part of all, his comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't go anywhere. Make sure you're ready and give Trenton a very big hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. How are you, Trenton?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for that fantastic intro. Appreciate it.
I practiced it. I read it 15 times beforehand so I wouldn't miss-say anything.
Nice. I like it.
I thank you for joining us. Oh, Elsa, I interrupted you twice.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I interrupted Elsa
Good afternoon from South Africa. I just want to say hi.
Oh, hello. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
So I don't know if you've been watching the show, but the first part of the episode, we had a competition for the longest tongue, and that just randomly came about. Everybody's been sending us pictures. Do you have a long tongue? It all started with conversation. Like
not
giraffes.
at all. So I tuned in for part of it. I tuned in whenever you all were talking about Wreck-It Ralph and Hook and The Greatest Showman. My tongue, regular length. That's all I got.
Oh, see, all right. You for where we're at, you're just breaking into the like the top 100 people right now. So don't worry, you're still top.
I can't even when I eat food, I'm trying to clear food out of the back of my mouth. Right, I can't even reach it. I gotta stick my finger in there and get it if I got something way back. I gotta go in the other room so I'm not being rude at the dinner table.
Just popping it out and all that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
the giraffe still wins.
Yeah, the giraffe is still winning. Like, she's in South Africa and she saw a giraffe driving to work the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you stop and pet it? And she said no. And so we're switching countries. She's going to come to the United States. I'm going to go to South Africa. I'm quitting my companies and everything. And I'm just going to be a professional giraffe petter. Like, that's all I want.
That sounds like the ideal job to have. If you have to have a job petting animals, non-violent animals, it seems like the way to go.
Would you pet a lion?
Would I pet a lion?
Funny story. There's guys that actually pet lions.
I would.
I will send you a link. They play with them, huge ones, the big ones, the male ones. So.
Oh, see,
I'm only doing it if there's somebody on site with a tranquilizer. That's the only way
I'm going to send you the link and then you decide.
Definitely.
If you want to do that. Watch the link. Watch the video. How this guy he plays like with them like they're his pets. They're not wild animals. They're his pets.
I mean, you say that, but I've seen things on TV where guys had a pet tiger and then the tiger goes rogue. And then,
happened in South Africa. In a little town called Springs, like in Springs. The guy the tiger's name was Poncho, and he just went missing. Yeah, went missing. Everybody was looking for the tiger everywhere. So it happens. It happens.
And
All
here's
right.
the thing. Go ahead. Sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. I'm good. You're gonna make me laugh because I have questions about your comedy. I want to know why why you don't drink coffee because of the heart attack at 20. You look like you're still in your 20s. Like, bro,
I'm only 31. I work out every day, take care of myself, but
bro, I need to know about you,
things, man. It was one of those fluke things. So real quick, I want to say about the lions, and if you have a pet lion or tiger, they can be playing and accidentally kill you because they're just too strong. You can't be playing with animals that can accidentally kill you when they're trying to have fun. Anyway, back to so you were asking about the heart issue. So I have 2 aneurysms in my LAD, which for the listeners, if you all don't know what an aneurysm is, it's when your artery wall weakens and it kind of expands like a balloon. So instead of your blood flowing straight through your artery, it kind of goes through there and it'll tumble and it'll clot. So that caused a heart attack. So the bottom half of my LAD, which the LAD gives blood to the bottom left quarter of your heart. There's no blood flowing through there for me anymore. But luckily, this was more, it seems like, just from what my doctor told me. I'm not a cardiologist. But from what my doctor told me, he said that he thinks that my heart was starting to have subtle issues before the heart attack that went unnoticed, but my heart developed feeder arteries around that LAD. So I'm still getting blood to that bottom left part of my heart, because otherwise I wouldn't be here if that wouldn't have happened, if my heart didn't develop those arteries around it. So just one of those fluke. I didn't even know that was possible.
Were you living an unhealthy lifestyle?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I was in college at the time, so I was going out and partying 3 nights a week. But aside from that, I'm not really a drug person at all. Like I don't do coke. So that's what everyone was asking. Like, were you doing coke? I was like, no, I wasn't. No, never.
Like, I get where they're going with that because coke gets the heart going, but it has nothing to do with what your heart had wrong with.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all they hear is heart attack at 20, and they're like, "Were you a drug addict?" Like, what was going on?
So, like, how much coke were you doing to have that at 20 years old, right? Like, I get where their minds are.
Young every day. That's what it was.
That, and like we talk about lions and all that, but we all know the truth. I watched Lion King on Netflix. Let's be honest, we don't want to be the next Carol Baskin's husband, okay? You know like, Trent and I get it. We're over here, fist bump, boom. Boom, I love
it. It takes some serious courage to play with a lion, whether that lion is a quote unquote pet or not.
Right, it really does.
You have to still respect it because one bite, and they're huge. I've seen a lion in real life. They're big. They really. Photos don't do them justice. They huge animals.
Yeah.
Oh, so now Trenton, where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles.
I was in LA a couple weeks ago. That's awesome. How do you like living in LA? It's warm but busy.
I love it. I love the busyness. I could do without the traffic. Whenever the pandemic rolled around, it was actually like really awesome here.
You're like, this 20-minute drive really is 20 minutes, not 3 hours because of traffic.
Yeah, man. I'm from St. Louis, and if you have to go 20 miles and it's not rush hour, and rush hour is literally like an hour in St. Louis. It's not like here where it lasts 4 hours. So 20 miles is a 20-minute drive on the highway, and 20 minutes here is literally an hour. So that took some getting used to. But during the pandemic, the highways were free and flowing, and you could get anywhere in no time. And I'm like, I could go for one of these every year, honestly.
Just for the holiday seasons, like clearing the spaces for everybody.
Yeah, all that.
It sounds so bad, but it's like, no, I know what you're saying. Like, the minute the pandemic hit, these roads opened up. And then the more it opened, I swear to God, the people that were the bad drivers were the first ones that came out. They're like, hey, there's nobody on the road. I can go 4 lanes over at a time. It's like, where the hell did you come from? So
they didn't practice for a while. That's why.
Oh, is that the excuse we're going to give them?
Nobody could go anywhere. You weren't allowed to drive. So maybe they forgot. Ooh, I have to do this. I have to do that.
True. So, Trenton, with the heart issues, is that what got you going into the coffee? Like, how did you end up in coffee industry?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love coffee. I love the taste of it. I love the smell. I love my morning coffee, afternoon coffee, whatever. Coffee's great. But yeah, caffeine gives me chest pain, so I pretty well stay away from it. And I started this company during the pandemic because I'm kind of one of those people. I'm always trying to just look at ways I can reuse things or save whatever, like avocado pits and date seeds and things like that. Whatever I can, just Google what can I do with this instead of, because I was throwing away a ton of date seeds because I eat them a lot, and Googled it. You can make coffee out of them. So I started making it for myself, and I really liked it. And I was thinking, I'm tired of making this. I just want to go to the store and buy it. And I couldn't really find it anywhere. So I started this, and it kind of took off like quite a bit faster than I thought it would. And yeah, so I'm here to, kind of give people an alternative who want something healthier, or if, like, my mom used to drink a pot of coffee a day, a whole pot every morning. Now she has like 1 cup, and then she'll switch to this. And she said it keeps her going and she loves it. So I'm not here to like try to persuade anybody to switch. If you love coffee, keep drinking your coffee. If you love your caffeine, keep it. But yeah, if you're looking for something healthy, Korma, that's, I want to be able to help people who are in situations like me.
This, go ahead.
Sorry, do you ship anywhere in the world with it, or is it?
We do. Yeah. If our government allows me to ship to your country, we do.
Okay, I will.
I love this, and you along with 30 million other Americans that fight heart disease and all that by age 21 and made his life longevity. All right, so I have to point this out. Why date coffee? Because this was going to be one of my first questions. Natural energy, vitamins and minerals, antioxidants. There is a lot here. Fiber. Like, how do you regulate being able to have a coffee, and what made you choose dates? Like, that's just you can make it from there, like you said, but I would never knew that.
I didn't either. I just happened to kind of stumble across it, and I loved it. And so my coffee, so we have like a couple different ones. So the classic blend is date seeds plus a little bit of chicory root. So if anyone's from New Orleans, chicory coffee is pretty popular down there. So it gives it, like, when you combine them in the right amounts, it tastes really close to coffee. And so that was why I chose date seeds as my base, because I've tried a handful of different coffee alternatives, and I can't really find anything else that really was what I was looking for. I've tried the mushrooms, and I've tried the this and that, and the mushroom stuff is good, but it tastes more like a chai tea to me, or maybe like a hot cocoa-y kind of drink. And those are good, but it just wasn't what I was looking for in my coffee. I wanted the coffee. I love a good creamy coffee, and this was it for me.
And the prices aren't that bad. It was $20 per bag. Like, that's a normal. I worked at a Starbucks. I ran a Starbucks years ago, and I'll tell you this: I like your packaging better, but I can't say that out loud pretty much because Starbucks probably still watches and threatens me.
They got to deal with Alexa. They're listening to you right now,
right? Like, they're like, "Okay, Brandon, we know what you're doing." All of a sudden, my website gets hacked. Oh, great! But
we're about to get shut down for this.
Right? We got to watch what we're saying.
So,
with vegan, are you a vegan, or did you just know this is the right way to go?
I'm not a vegan. I do go through like vegan cleanses every now and again, but I eat like pretty healthy whole foods. But honestly, man, I'm from the Midwest. I'm never gonna stop eating burgers. It's just not gonna happen. Like, never. But I will go months without eating meat though. And I like to fast every now and again. I do 24 to 36 hour fast pretty frequently. I did a 5-day fast last October, water only. So I didn't do like a juice fast or a tea fast, just water only for 5 days.
How did your body handle that? Like, reactions, problems?
Pretty well. I mean, I wouldn't jump into, and I've done a 3-day fast before too. I wouldn't jump into an extended fast like that. I would start with like intermittent fasting and, limiting your food intake to like 8 hours a day and see how you do that and kind of work your way up. And honestly, it's my body handled it well. It's getting your mind ready to not eat for 5 days is the tricky part. So if you can mentally prepare yourself to get there, you're good. Especially, habitual to get up and eat sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you can't give up eating and coffee. So that's my problem. Then I drink a lot more coffee when I'm not eating. So it's like mugs and mugs of coffee.
Yeah.
So that your coffee will then make me feel not as bad, which is a good thing because
that's how my mom does it.
Makes me hyperactive.
Have you
I get
noticed
hyperactive with caffeine?
Have you noticed that it helps people with like because my dad, I'm thinking of both of my parents, and I'm going to pull your website back up here because there's a lot here, and I love how you have like actually let me make this full screen so it's easier to see. Natural energy, vitamins and minerals, the fiber part. My dad and I have been talking about his fiber, the vegan and the gluten-free. Both of my sisters would love that because I have a vegan and a gluten-free sister. When we go out to eat, it is a natural way to piss off a waitress. But like my thing is, it has so many benefits. How is the taste? Because like, is the taste different from coffee? And then the other question I saw, is it much different from a mushroom coffee? What? How do you describe the difference on those?
As far as like the mushroom coffee, I'd say the benefits are really similar. The taste is different though. So our classic blend tastes pretty damn close to coffee. You can look at the reviews on the website and see what people are saying about it. There's reviews on all of them on there. The light roast is just date seed, so there's no chicory in it, and that is not super coffee tasting. It's fairly sweet, and it almost tastes like a tea. It tastes kind of like a really light coffee tea kind of flavor. And then the toasted coconut there's no chicory in that one either. So I wanted the toasted coconut to give people like a sweeter alternative. So it's pretty sweet. And it was my favorite for a long time. When I started this, the toasted coconut was my favorite. That's all I was drinking. And then I really just got hooked on the classic blend, and that's my go-to now.
How do you pick the flavors? I literally had this debate with somebody the other day. I'm like, how do you pick what flavor you do for coffee? Because if all of a sudden I'm like, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So picking the flavors for me, it was like, so my whole everything with this, the whole brand is based around health conscious, and we'll never add any artificial flavoring. If it's not good for you, it's not going in our coffee, no matter what. None of our products. And we even have a coffee scrub, and it's like all natural oils and like some Hawaiian black lava salt and things like that. And so it's everything. It's just naturally things that, are great for your body. And I use all these things, and, that's something that I really stand behind. And so picking the flavors was just what can I find that will number one, taste good, and number two, sustainable and ethical, So the coconut, it's literally just dried organic coconut and organic date seeds, and that's it.
Really? That's so simple.
I didn't even know you could make coffee from date seeds.
Like I'm loving the quotes that we're getting here. People are trying to help come up with a new tagline. Your date is waiting for you, one cup at a time. I did this. Like I was trying to get one in there too. I'm like, have a coffee date with Trenton. Like I'm like, boom, get this in here. And then Jaybird comes in with this awesome one. Like, so you have multiple flavors, you have multiple things, and you're a stand-up comedian. How did you find time to do all these different things? Because you got a lot going on, and comedy to coffee.
The pandemic, I completely quit doing stand-up during the pandemic because I live in LA. Everything is closed here. I didn't quit writing. I'm still writing jokes, but I don't have to take the time to perform and rehearse right now. So I filled all my time of that with this, and I'm still doing the cartoons, but I do the cartoons. I have a production company that I co-own with my brothers. I have 4 brothers, and 3 of us do cartoons. And I got a brother that I live with. His name is Dylan, and this man is a boss. Like, he is a hustler. He goes and gets it and makes everything happen with the cartoons. And I'm like, tell me what you need me to do, and I'll do it. And he kind of takes the lead on this. And we're actually pitching a show to Netflix in a couple weeks. And thank you.
Well done.
And we have great relationships with pretty much every streaming service, every TV network in town that's a good fit for our brand. And he started all those, and literally just from cold emailing people, that's how he kind of got started talking to everybody across, the whole spectrum of all these streaming services. and just reaching out and being real and being cool with people and taking the time to build those relationships. And he did all that. And so I'm just like, okay, keep doing you. Whatever you need from me, let me know. I got you. But yeah, he spearheads that. And that's great because it allows me to focus on building this coffee company while I have the time to do this right now. And so I put people around you that can help you do the things you want to do. That's how I find time for it. Find people that are better than you. Like he's way better at emailing people out of nowhere. I'm not good at all at sending cold emails or even like semi-warm emails. I'm just not good at it. I'm great at talking to people face to face, and he's pretty good at it, but I'm a little better face to face. But as far as just reaching out to people on a one-shot go, I've never seen anybody as good as him at it. And that took years of practice for him to get like that. He wasn't just like a guru that was, he's sent 20,000 emails to people over the last 5 years since we've been doing this. And it's crazy how we got started. Like for the people that are listening, we started making cartoons on YouTube, and our show, it's actually this show right here. It was called The Lounge. And so we were making that on YouTube. And if you go watch it on YouTube, all those episodes are bad, but it's funny to see how far we've come because they're like so bad, and like the writing is bad and the animation is terrible. And now everything we make is TV quality. But yeah, this show we were doing on YouTube, this is what got us to deal with Comedy Central. And it was literally like he started, and we both were, but he was definitely more adamant about and more aggressive with the sending emails and stuff like that. We got this show picked up by Comedy Central from sending cold messages on LinkedIn to people.
Wow.
Every contact is important.
Absolutely. It wasn't like, hey, will you watch our show and give us a pitch meeting? Nothing like that. We never asked for anything like that. And that's really important. It was just reaching out to people and saying, hey, do you mind taking a look at this show, giving us feedback?
Who was the first person that gave you that first big connection?
Yeah. That's a great question. It was an assistant. It was an assistant in the programming department. We had hundreds of emails and cold LinkedIn messages. One person hit us back. One. And it happened to be an assistant in the programming department, and she loved it and was like, yeah, keep me posted every time you drop episodes. And so we were dropping episodes twice a week, and we were keeping up with current events. We were literally writing, animating, and releasing a show in, every 3 days. And so just hustling as hard as we could and like never sleeping hardly. And which now I prioritize sleep like a lot. I don't ever do that. Like I don't stay up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning working anymore, no matter what. At 10 o'clock, I'm done with screens, and I'm asleep in bed by 11 o'clock always. And
you're an early riser. Do you get up early?
I had to turn myself into one. I get up at about 5 or 4:45 every day now. But I used to be stay up till 3 or 4 and get up at 11. So you're still sleeping your same 6, 7 hours. You're just doing it on a different schedule now. But it was tough for me to switch over and do that. But now that I have, I love it. I can't go back the other way now. But yeah, just being tenacious, man. That's how we got that picked up.
So I'm trying to find The Lounge. Is it labeled The Lounge on YouTube?
I think you can actually go to youtube.com/watch the youtube.com/the lounge cartoon. Yeah, /the lounge cartoon. And I think that might be the URL. I haven't checked it out or been over there in years. All those episodes are from like 2015.
Oh my gosh! Exactly. I'm viewing them now. I'm trying to make sure I pull the right one up and don't send anybody to the wrong one.
But the storyline is hilarious. It's just not very high quality anything. The storyline is funny because season 1 was whenever all the Bill Cosby stuff was going on in the news. And so we brought him into the show. And what was going on in the show was these guys watched Wolf of Wall Street and they want to try Quaaludes, but you can't get them. So they're trying to go to Canada to get them, but then they have to leave because apparently his name is Old Man Cosby in the show, and he's a drug kingpin. He bought the recipe. He bought the recipe for Quaaludes. Only get Quaaludes.
I'm gonna love this. It already sounds amazing.
You could only get them from him. And then around that same time, El Chapo broke out of prison, And so these guys work out of school, by the way. They're on break from summer. They're on summer vacation. And so they're driving the school bus around the country, and they see El Chapo hitchhiking, and they pick him up. And he's like, he's got beef with Old Man Cosby from back in the day. And so he used to have Quaaludes too, but he sold them all to Cosby because he didn't know he was sitting on a gold mine and they were going to be worth so much now. So it's just like totally over the top ridiculous. But
I love it.
That's like the little brief synopsis for season 1. Yeah, the jokes are funny, but the storyline, that's also funny. The writing, terrible. Animation, terrible. Structure, terrible. But
can you tell us about the one that you are showing to Netflix? Which are you not allowed to talk about?
That's actually this show. We did a rebrand for this show. So we rebranded this show. It has a different title now, and I can't get into too many details about it. But this is the show we're pitching. So we gave it like a fresher look. The animation's better. But yeah, this show, and we're sitting on a catalog of like, God, we have like probably 10 or 12 shows in our catalog that we're pitching to different people right now. I actually have a pitch this afternoon with a production company, not a network, but we're pitching a completely different show to a production company to see if they want to be the executive producers on this show. And I can't say who we're meeting with, but I can say this man is very influential in the animated space. He more so does animated movies. He's an Oscar winner.
Wow.
He's a big deal. So this pitch that we have this afternoon is like, even if nothing comes out of it, to build that relationship is great. And I saw someone asked a question about they had a son that wants to get into voice acting.
Yes.
Any advice? I would say this is what I would say. I would say practice your making different voices and really practice your voice acting. I would say if he wants to do comedy, watch South Park. They have the best voice acting on TV because comedy, for one, is already a really fast pace compared to any other genre. And cartoons are even faster. And so it's really hard to convey the message that you want to convey and put the emphasis on the right syllables of your words and things like that so that you can really get your message across, but also say it fast. It's hard. Like you watch our voice acting you watch our YouTube stuff and you'll see how bad the voice acting is. And then, we got some stuff we've put together now. And it's like, man, we've come so far, but that's from, just working on this every day and just year after year, just trying to get better and making it a point to get better. But yeah, study South Park, and you can watch a lot of voice acting tutorials on YouTube and how to make your voice different. But yeah, if he wants to get into it, study as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and put together a voice demo reel. And or if you know anyone who's like trying to make cartoons or even you can, there's so many avenues you have now. You can even dub voiceovers for funny videos and put them on YouTube, or you have so many ways that you can try to get yourself out there. And as long as you have something out there for people to see, or even if you make a voice demo with just your voice and just audio only, that's fine too. And then, start, if he really wants to do it, tell him to start reaching out to people that already do it. So, and these people are really accessible because the voice acting community, and it's a really small community. There's only a handful of people that really dominate the voiceover work in LA. And like, I know a couple of the guys, but yeah, and that's who you want to reach out to. So reach out to the people that are already doing it and ask them for advice. And I'm not in a position to give a ton of advice on it because I have pretty much only done voices for the things that I've produced. So I've never like gotten a call from Fox and be like, hey, you want to do a voice on this Family Guy episode? But I know people that have. And so those are the people you want to reach out to if that's what you want to do. Anything you want to do. So one thing I've found in this whole journey is everybody's always willing to help people pretty much. The only thing is if you're at the very bottom, so like when we started, we're at the very bottom, right? And now we're slowly moving our way up. We're far from the top, but we're far from the bottom. So if you're at the bottom, don't reach out to people at the very top, because I don't know why, but it's just human nature. If someone sees someone as like, I don't want to say a nobody, because I feel like no one's a nobody, but someone who's not known, you come across as being needy and you don't have a lot to offer them. You got to reach out to people who you have something to offer too. So if you're at the bottom, reach out to people who are a little bit higher than you. And then when you move up, reach out to people who are a little bit higher, and so on and so on. And everyone always wants to help people elevate a little bit. Like everyone loves the recognition. Everyone loves helping people. And so just reach out to people who are already doing it, and you can reach out to the people at the top. You may get a response, who knows? But the people who are a little bit above you are almost always willing to help. So just keep leveling up a little bit, ask for help above, and you'll inch your way up. And then the next thing you know, you're pitching shows to Netflix and Oscar winners. And
that is freaking. Who was your inspiration? Because you've been doing this, and then I have to ask: Bob's Burgers or Family Guy? Which one would you rather be the voice on?
Let me say one thing, Miranda. Yes, TikTok. If you want to do voice acting and get into something, that TikTok would be an amazing platform. But yeah, so you were saying Family Guy or Bob's Burgers?
Yeah.
Which one do I like more?
Which one? No. Which one would you want to be on more? If you could pick one where they give you a call, all of a sudden Fox calls. Fuck Fox. There, I use my F word. Like, they call, you get one F word, just so you know. That way you don't have to watch yourself too closely.
Oh, okay, cool.
You get one free F-bomb. Yes. Usually I censor myself. I'm like, oh, this and stuff. So
I just hope I don't forget to use it.
No, I'll remind you before the end.
If I use 2 next time I come back. That's what.
Boom! Yeah, you get to use 2. I love it.
All right, cool.
All right, so South Park. I'm gonna add that in because that way it doesn't have to be just Fox shows. Okay. South Park, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. If you could do a voiceover for any one of the 3, which one would be your favorite? Which one would you like?
South Park is my biggest inspiration with making cartoons. Me and my brothers grew up watching that show. That show started when I was 7 years old, and I've been hooked ever since. And like I've seen enough South Park. If an episode comes on, I can watch about 3 seconds of it and tell you the title of the episode.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like
that is impressive.
You know those Friends fanatics who are like the one where this and this and this, and like they know everything. Like that's me with South Park.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Everyone knows a Friends fanatic. That's like
that knows exactly what everybody does.
Yeah.
What is it about South Park? Like, what did you connect with that made you stick with it? Like, there's something there.
Just, I love the rawness of it, and it's a really dialogue-driven show as far as like the comedy goes. So, especially if you watch seasons like everything before, like season 15 and prior, they really made just every single line as funny as they could, and that's how we try to write our jokes. We try to make everything funny. Like funny is always first for us. And like, obviously storyline is a huge thing because when you're doing comedy, people watch it the first time for the jokes, but they'll keep watching it if you have a good storyline. If it's super funny, but the storyline isn't there to keep people intrigued in it, they're only going to watch it one time because the jokes only hit once. I mean, they're still kind of funny after you watch it over and over, but the first time you're watching those jokes, you're like, damn, this is hilarious. And then the second time, you're like, well, I already know the jokes coming. But if you can keep people watching for the storyline, that's important too. But yeah, just that was it for us. Was South Park was just, the dialogue was so funny. We love that diss humor and friends talking mess to one another. And that's what we love. Like these guys are like best friends in this show, but they talk so much smack to one another and make fun of each other. And that's how me and my brothers are. Me and my brothers, there's 5 of us. There's only 7 years from oldest to youngest.
Yo.
Wow. South Park.
We're all close.
You're being
just the brothers. Your poor mom. You have 7 boys. I mean, well,
no. 5 boys. 5 boys.
5 boys.
Yeah.
I've got 1, and no, my accent to your
that's
mom.
why my parents are divorced. It's too much.
It's too much.
After my parents split, my 2 older brothers lived with my dad, and me and my 2 younger brothers grew up with my mom. So neither one of them apparently wanted all 5 in the house. We used to tear up everything. We were like so mischievous because our parents were honestly kind of like, they weren't absent, but they weren't always around providing the supervision that, So I can remember just whenever we're like little kids, just tearing up everything. And so we had a like pretty large deck out on the backside of our house. And those decks that were always built in like the 70s and 80s where it's like you got the wood railing, but then it's like the crisscross thin wood that runs around. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Me and my two older brothers, and this is I'm young. My parents were still together. They split when I was like 6, so I was probably I might have been like 4 years old at the oldest at this time, maybe 3. Me and my two older brothers, we were like playing around, and we took my dad's golf clubs and busted all those out.
Oh, how mad was your dad?
Oh man, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But destroying things is pretty fun, actually.
It is. How do you learn? I remember being young. I took my dad's Bose surround sound system apart, and this was before Bose was a thing, so he paid a lot of money for it. Yeah. He came home from work and was like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "How am I supposed to learn? Right? Like, how am I supposed to?" He goes, "Put it back together and don't say anything to me." Literally, put it back together, designed it my own way. Like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this here, do all this stuff." He's like, I don't know where you came from. Like, how you're not my son. Like, for real, like, Dad.
I do that too. I used to love taking things apart. Like, I used to take apart like watches and just every single electronic device I had. I took it apart. Most of it never got put back together and worked anymore. But I was just trying to figure things out and learn, and see what's in here. How does this work? What makes this work? Like, I'm gonna take this speaker apart. How does this magnet make sound come out of here?
Yep.
Or fire. Did you guys? I know boys always want to set things alight.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. We love. Right. I have one of my older brothers. His name is Justin. This dude was the pyromaniac of the family when we was kids. He was always playing with fire. Like, he would go out. He was starting fires in the garage all the time. Just like find a lighter and a roll of paper towels and set it on fire. He was that kid. Yeah, we used to tear everything up. Like, we found a little hatchet in our garage one time, and so we found a hatchet, and we took a 12-pack of, I think it was Fresca. Y'all remember Fresca? It's kind of like Sprite except nasty.
Tastes like nothing, because nothing tastes like Fresca.
Yeah. So we found a 12-pack of Fresca, and we took them out to this spot in our yard that we used to call the digging spot. I don't know if whenever we were kids, before we had phones and stuff, your little kids, we used to go out in the backyard and dig, just to dig in the dirt and whatever. But so I'm like 3-4 years old. So we're me and my two older brothers, we're probably 3, 5, and 7. And we're shaking up these soda cans and splitting them open with this axe and just watching the soda spray up in the air. But then Justin finds a can of spray paint. And he shakes it up, cracks it open, and gets in his eyes. He can't see. He runs inside crying, like, we're all following him. We're covered in spray paint. We got spray paint all over our chests and backs from it spraying up in the air and getting all over us. Oh, my mom was so pissed. So pissed. But also like scared and worried at the same time because her kid has spray paint in his eyes. And so she's like trying to flush his eyes out and yell at us at the same time.
She's not paying attention. She's slapping his face. She's like, just swallow.
Like holding him under the bathwater, drowning him. she's like indirectly waterboarding him on accident.
Yes. Oh my God. Trenton, you and I are not allowed to hang out outside of this because this is all like professional fun. Outside of this, man, you and I get in trouble. I just have this feeling that's
probably for the best.
Oh, I love it though. I love it. I just think it's fun to have like those good, entertaining like life stories like that. Not everybody gets to like get in as much trouble as guys do. Like we get, like us, you know.
I mean, it's a blessing and a curse to have parents that aren't supervising you the way they're supposed to. You get to learn a lot and explore and kind of figure things out. But it wouldn't have been as beneficial if my brother would have ended up blind from that paint in his eyes. Then it would have been.
I was gonna ask what ended up happening at the end. Did your mom let him out of the water?
No, she drowned him. He's dead.
He's dead.
No, he ended up being fine. It just took a little, quite a few minutes to flush it all out, and he's good.
Oh man, that is
cool. Yeah, so, that was 25, almost probably 28 years ago.
Now you've done all these projects. You've worked with Kevin Hart. You've been with Comedy Central. You've got you've got a comic that you're gonna be doing with Netflix that is gonna be my favorite show. I already can click on it.
We're pitching it, so don't be running around telling people I'm doing a show with Netflix because it hasn't been picked up yet. We haven't even had the pitch meeting yet. just to clarify.
Be positive.
I'm manifesting it.
Yeah,
yes,
I
we're
appreciate
manifesting
that, man.
there.
I am
Putting
too.
it
I
out
just,
there
I just don't
already.
want to give the viewers the wrong impression. that
Hart.
you know.
Not yet. Trenton will come back when they get
Yeah.
on there, and we're gonna have
Yeah.
him come back and do some spots so we can actually entertain it,
definitely,
like
for sure,
show
for
it.
sure.
So, with that being said, though, you've worked with comedians. You've worked all over the place. Who's been your most fun to work with? And my next question is going to be, and that way it also gets a question after that. Who is your role models for your cartoons? Like, I picture like you do South Park, but I picture like Calvin and Hobbes as a kid almost. Do you get where I'm going? Like, what got you to like really think outside the box and want to be doing cartoons in that?
So what got me to think outside the box and want to do a lot of it was honestly, I was like working as a financial advisor, living in San Diego for a while, and honestly, I hated it. I didn't like it, and it just wasn't for me. And so I'm thinking, okay, what can I do that I know I'm gonna love, and that's gonna afford me to live the lifestyle that I want to live, and especially if I'm gonna live in LA, like I'm not at that lifestyle yet because it's pricey out here. But so it was like, what can I do that I love that will let me live a good life and live an extravagant life, and entertainment was in that avenue, and cartoons was something that I knew we could do because all we had to do was buy computers and teach ourselves to animate, which we did. We didn't go to school for any of this. We just bought computers, and as soon as we learned how to animate or taught ourselves, which took it took about probably 15 months before we were good enough to even put out anything at all. And then, but as soon as we were good enough to put anything out, we did. And even though those projects weren't good and the animation was terrible, we were just learning as we were going. And so we were just trying to build and put that stuff out there. But yeah, as far as like my role models, definitely Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I mean, they're the creators of South Park, and I love all their work. I don't know if you've seen Team America. That movie, like the first time I watched that, I remember I'm in high school. I'm literally crying. So if you've never seen Team America, it's done with marionette puppets for the viewers. I don't know if y'all have seen it. But it's incredible, and it makes fun of how the United States polices the world, and and it came out 3 years after 9/11, so it's essentially Team America is this police team of like 5 people, and they're fighting these terrorists, and they got to stop Kim Jong-il from supplying these terrorists with weapons of mass destruction. And super funny movie, but yeah, I love everything they do. Seth MacFarlane is obviously another big one. I love Family Guy, but even more so, I love American Dad. That's my favorite Seth MacFarlane show. I love that show. It's amazing.
And, I agree 100%.
Yeah, love it. Family Guy is great, but American Dad to me is it's top notch. It's top notch comedy, and it's good writing.
I agree.
The only show I know that's almost as similar to that I've watched before is Rick and Morty.
I love Rick and Morty. That's my favorite, like, newer cartoon.
Yes.
And
I like that.
I'll say another one of my like role models, inspirations as far as the cartoons is I love the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crew.
Yeah.
They're amazing writers, and they write their comedy very similar to us in that they try to make every line funny. They talk a lot of shit to each other. Do I only get one S word, or does that? You
get as many. It's only one F word. Everything else is up to you.
Okay. Yeah, they talk a lot of shit to each other, and I love like Frank Reynolds, Danny DeVito in that show is so funny.
He is.
And it's just I love the situations that they find themselves in and get into, and it's so yeah, I love that. But yeah, so you asked favorite people to work with.
Like, I picture Kevin Hart being fun. I just see him being...
So let me say, I worked with his network, so he wasn't involved on the project that we were working on, unfortunately.
Got it.
We wanted to work with his network. That's a connection I would love to make. Kevin Hart's great. He's hilarious. But...
Get Swifty!
But, man, my favorite person I've worked with, probably... We're working on a project right now, and... It's actually the project we're pitching to this production company later today. And we had a few people come through and do voices for it that want to be a part of it. So I don't know if any of you all know who Adam Ray is. He's a comedian. He was great to work with. David Ketchner. He is, if you've seen Anchorman, he's Champ Kind, the guy with the cowboy hat, the whammy guy. He's also
Yes.
he's Todd Packer in The Office. He's super funny as Todd Packer in The Office.
Yep.
But he came through and he wants to be a part of it. And so these guys both came through and did voices for us for free, and they want to be on the project. And when we were working with David Ketchner, this guy is so cool, like just such a really down to earth, like real human being. And nice. Adam is too. Like all the people we've worked with, luckily, like we've worked with some great people out here. But as far as just being an authentic, real cool person, down to earth, David Ketchner was one of my favorite people that we've worked with so far.
Nice.
He was, and also he's from Tipton, Missouri, which is like, I grew up in a tiny town in the middle of nowhere called Wellsville, and these towns are like an hour and a half from each other. So we kind of clicked on that, and he's a great guy, super cool, real person, man.
I love that.
Do you miss comedy? Will you go back to stand-up comedy, or
I'm 100% going back? I miss it like crazy. Yeah, I can't wait for the comedy clubs to open back up. And I love going to comedy shows. And even though I'm about to use my one F-bomb, because I saw this Dave Chappelle, he was talking about why he doesn't, really like any of the new comedians. And he says he likes them, but he said it's like watching someone else do comedy is like watching someone else fuck your girl. Like, I'd do it better than that. and
he's right. That's awesome.
And that's how I feel a lot of the time when I go to comedy shows. And don't get me wrong, there's some times where I'm like, man, this dude is killing it. I don't know if I'm on that dude's level, whoever it may be, if I'm watching. But most of the time, if I go to comedy shows, I'm like, I'd do it better than this dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or this woman. I'd do it better than this woman. This person, whoever's up there, I'm like, I'd do it better than that. My jokes are funnier. But
I think you get different.
I feel like that a lot of the time. Sorry, what did you say?
Sometimes when you hear some comedy, it's like they try and be funny. So I think that's where it comes from. Natural. I don't know how you say it in English. If you're naturally funny, and
100%,
it makes a huge difference.
Definitely.
It makes a huge difference in stand-up.
I know people that are not very funny that do stand-up, but that take enough time to write their jokes and do them well, that do pretty well on stage and actually like make a good living doing it. But I know people that are naturally funny, that are real funny, that don't have to try that hard, and they go up and just kill these guys.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Hart's one of those.
Yeah. But yeah, for anyone who's watching, you don't have to be funny to be a professional comedian. You don't. I know a ton that are not. And I saw Mike Epps interview one time. It sure helps. Yeah, it does help. But I saw Mike Epps interview one time, and he was talking about it, and he said if this game was really about being funny, wouldn't none of these suckers be in it? And I haven't been in it long enough, and I don't know enough people to say anything like that. But just like hearing someone like Mike Epps say that, who's been out here for 30-some years, you know, and it's like he's probably right. Like I see a lot of people who are not funny making a living doing comedy. But yeah, that just goes to show you don't have to have, like, you see people on TV and not just comedy, but so many things, just work hard and you can make it doing whatever you want to do. You don't have to have the talent. You can get by with hard work and almost anything. You like, if you work hard enough, you can be pretty much anything except a professional athlete. You got to have a certain degree of God-given talent to do that. But pretty much anything else, if you work hard enough, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Like I know people that work in TV. I know executives that are not funny at all, that these guys get to pick what goes on TV. And it's like, some of these people I talk to, I'm like, why did you greenlight this show? But yeah, I mean, but if you work hard, you can make whatever you want to happen, whether you're funny or not.
When you're doing your work and you're doing like the stuff, how long does it take to produce an episode and get it ready to go on air? So if you were to start, something big happens in the news today that you want to make jokes about, how long would it take before we could see that episode go up? Just curious.
We can knock out episodes pretty fast. So our comedy short form, though, we're not producing 20, 30-minute episodes for the internet. Like we're working on some stuff like that right now to pitch to TV networks. But like when you watch The Lounge and we were making 2 episodes a week, these episodes were, 1 to 5 minutes, and we can knock out a 2-minute episode when we were really hustling, 24 hours.
Really?
But that was like literally 24 hours of work. That's okay. Something happens with El Chapo, whatever. He breaks out of prison. News breaks. scramble, write an episode, rewrite it real quick, you know, make sure it's actually funny and not just something that we think might be kind of funny, and then we produce it and it's like, that's not that funny.
Yeah.
That happens. But yeah, so write the episode, and we could animate pretty quick because we skip the storyboard process, which is it is vital if you're producing a big project. But when you're doing like a little short thing for the internet, you don't have to storyboard it, especially whenever we were doing the animation, so we're directing it, so we already know where we want this to go. Where if you have an animator who's just animating, you need to storyboard it for them so that they don't have to spend time and energy trying to figure out what you want it to look like. But we were the animators, so we know what we want it to look like, so we can knock it out real quick.
Love that. That is like a pretty freaking cool. So with that being said, what is the hardest part of comedy? Being locked down?
That's actually not, I mean, that's hard mentally, but it gives you a lot of time to write and think of jokes that are super funny. And I haven't really written any pandemic jokes, any lockdown jokes. I've only been writing jokes that I know are going to stand the test of time and more relatable on an everyday basis outside the pandemic. So I haven't spent any time writing any jokes like that, because those pandemic jokes are only going to be funny until maybe through 2022, and then people are going to be tired of them and not want to hear them again.
Yeah, unless we get locked down again.
I'm already tired of
it. Which may happen. But I don't know. The hardest part about being funny is timing. I'll say timing and structuring your jokes to where you know it's going to hit the hardest, because, you know, sometimes, I mean, I've been guilty of it being on stage too. You say your joke in a way that it just doesn't hit the way you want it to hit, even though the joke is there and it's funny, but you didn't say it the right way, or you didn't put you could have used a slightly different word to hammer it home. It's the little things, it's the technical things. I'd say that's the hardest part, because just getting the very best out of it is probably the hardest, I think.
That makes sense.
How did the COVID affect you mentally? I mean, how did you cope? What did you do to get through that not being able to talk to people? And
it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. And especially like when this whole thing started, I was single. I started dating someone a few months ago, but like all 2020 and the beginning of 2021, I was single. And I mean like single. Like I wasn't even like talking to anybody. And everyone I knew was either like in a relationship or dating, or at least like sleeping with someone. And I'm like, you all can't relate to what I'm going through, because this is different. And even like not even needing that like necessary companionship, but even just being able to go places and talk to people and exchange energy, or even like go out and like flirt with people, whatever it is, or you know, have that, you know, normal human interaction. What'd you say?
Human interaction.
Yeah, just that normal human interaction. And to miss that that took a lot of time to get used to. There was, I'm not even gonna lie, there was a couple times in lockdown where I was like struggling, and I just like broke down crying a couple times, just trying to figure out my mind and things out. But honestly, it was such a good thing for me. I saw like so much internal growth and started to understand certain other things about myself and learn about myself. And now I'm at a point where like I don't, even if I wouldn't have started seeing somebody like a few months ago, I'd be cool right now, even still. Like after what I went through in 2020 and all that mental struggle to get through. And also, so me and all my brothers were living in LA since 2016. And 3 of my brothers moved back to Missouri last August. So that made it even harder, because me and my brothers are best friends. And I got other friends out here too, but I don't, this is family, you know? So then it was just me and one of my brothers out here. And then it just like got even twice as hard, because I didn't have that support system that I was used to having. So that's when it got really hard. But that's when it really forced me to really look more internally and really start to learn about myself. And it was honestly great. Like I'm so happy it happened, because there were moments where I was getting like really bad anxiety. I couldn't sleep for a stretch of this. Like I literally could not sleep. I was sleeping from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. and for like a month. And
wow.
So it wasn't easy, but there was honestly that helped me become who I am now, and I absolutely love who I am now. And that helped me get into a mode of now I get up at 5 a.m. every day. I get up at 5 a.m. and I meditate, and then I do Wim Hof breathing techniques, and then I hit the gym, and then, eat. I have a little snack before the gym. I eat after, shower, and it's like 9 a.m. and I'm completely ready to take on the day. I've already probably got a couple other things done for work too. And
wow.
Now I can't go back because I've always been like a person to work out, but I would always work out in the afternoon, but things can come up in the afternoon.
Yes. Distractions.
Nothing
Life
is
happens.
up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning,
True.
So
yeah, it's
most
you.
of the world's not even up yet. So it's just me and the time and there's peace and quiet, so I can focus on my meditation and do the things I need to do. And then I kind of review like my goals and who I am. And I have like a little notepad where I write things down about, what I want to accomplish in life and just things like that. And I like to review all those things because I like to keep constantly reminding myself, because it's easy to forget that and fall out of those habits and revert to old habits. And like, it's really easy to slip up and not do that anymore. So I just try to be diligent on it. And there's days where I slip up too. I'm human. I'm not perfect. I don't do it every single day. I set my alarm every day, but some days I hit snooze, and some days you don't make it to bed as early as you want. So you feel like you need to sleep in, and it's part of the process, and it's part of the growth and part of being human. So, but I love it, and I love the grind, and I love the effort it takes to be better. And I'm always trying to learn more and grow. And so the pandemic, it was a blessing in disguise for me in a lot of ways. And the best thing about it was if it wouldn't have happened, there's no way I would have ever started this coffee company. So I'm thankful. I'm extremely grateful that this all happened. I got to grow a lot as a person and start a company that has products that I love, and hopefully other people can love and benefit from them too. And
that's freaking awesome.
I want to help people that are kind of in similar situations as me. So, and then make people laugh when I'm not doing the coffee thing.
I love that. I love that. You are truly, you are a good person in the way that you have balanced yourself and refound who you are. And to hear you use the words, I love myself, or I respect myself, and I care for myself. Those are things that a lot of people are still looking for. So Trenton, please know I'm not
going to act like it's easy. It's not. It's hard to get to be the person that you want to be, and that you're like, but you have to understand, like, so I've always, even before because I've always been trying to grow, and I've always had this picture in my head of who I want to be when I'm an old man, right?
Yeah.
So like, and like, so I had this picture of who I want to be, and I can visualize myself like this and see myself as this older person. And so that's who I'm trying to become. But it's work, and it's not easy. And, you're going to have moments where you fail hard and hit maybe rock bottom, depending on, your situation, or maybe you'll come closer. You're going to fall regardless, whether you go fall bottom or not. You're going to have moments where you slip up, and you just got to understand that that's part of it. And you can't let yourself get too down on it. And then you just got to be like, okay, well, I got to come back harder tomorrow then.
Yes.
So
I love it.
It's constant work, but it's fun. You got to enjoy the process. You always hear athletes talk about, the great athletes anyway, like the good, the tip top. They always say you got to fall in love with the process of becoming great. And that's what it's all about. You just got to fall in love with that whole process, and
makes sense.
Try to be the person you're supposed to be. And that's who I see. Like this old person that I see, like this accomplished good man is like, who dresses well and has his life in the way he wants it to be. That's who I'm supposed to be. So I'm just trying to be the person I'm supposed to be. And I feel like, that's, you got to have a real belief. And I grew up in an area of, 1,200 people, where it's a small, like, super country town in the middle of nowhere. And I never saw success on a level that I was aspiring to achieve. Like, I grew up in a town that's mostly people in poverty or people really low income. The only people who like really have it made out there are the people who own farms, like on the outskirts of town. I mean, obviously there's a ton of money in farming, so those people are set, and they got generational wealth, and they're great, they're good. but they don't flaunt their wealth. So you don't have any idea what they're actually living like. You don't even know. When you're a kid, you don't think of this person as rich, even though like I know people who own farms, and like now I look at them, I'm like, damn, their net worth is probably like $5 to $10 million because they have all that equity in their farm and their home on their farm, but they don't drive Lamborghinis and shit, you know?
No.
They buy a pickup that's a couple years old, and you know they live moderately, and that's how they keep, you know, that wealth in the family and do those things. But I never saw people who were aspiring to achieve great things. And I always remember telling people whenever I was a kid, I can remember being a tiny kid, watching my parents struggle with bills and bills pile up on the table, and I always told everyone, I'm gonna be rich when I grow up. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna figure it out and make it. And I'm not rich yet. I'm far from it. But
you're still young, so
yeah. But I'm on track. I think I'm on track to get there. But when people would always like scoff or laugh or be like, yeah, right, or good luck, and even when I was a kid, tiny, 7, 8 years old, I never let it get me down. I never listened to anyone else. I honestly, I can remember being 8 years old and telling people I'm going to be rich, and they say good luck or yeah, right. And I just think this person's an idiot. I can remember being 8 years old and thinking this grown up is an idiot. Like, do they think it's not possible? Like, I've seen people do it on TV. It has to be possible.
Right? You're like, I know I can do it.
I know I can do it. If this person can do it, I can figure it out eventually.
Right? I love that.
And so, not even just from a monetary perspective, but making your dreams come true. If you want to move to Hollywood and produce cartoons or be an actor, whatever it is, you can do it. Just don't listen to the naysayers. People think because they can't do something, or they feel like it's too late for them to do something, that no one that you can't do it either. And it's just not the case.
True, Trenton, you are an inspiration, and you're still young. So please know, thank you for coming on today.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. So one thing we do, let me bring Brett back in really quick. This is Brett Gordon. He needs you to answer a question before we do our last segment, which is spreading the positivity and giving a good word. You're going to be the deciding vote. All right. Are we doing Wreck-It Ralph has been removed, so throw that one away. It's just in the top of my mind. Don't know why. Hook or Brett, my brain stopped. The Greatest Showman. He's muted. That's the best way to talk to Brett. So Hook or The Greatest Showman, which one would you like to see Brett talk about? We're going to be doing a show on Thursday night that talks all about positivity and building up like the best you, and we use movies. Which movie would you like to see us use?
For building up positivity?
Like the life and leadership lessons.
Yep. Life and leadership lessons. Oh man, both of those movies would be great for that. Me personally, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of musicals, so I'm more particular to Hook, and Robin Williams is a legend. I mean, yes, Hugh Jackman's great, and he's legendary in his own right, but he's not Robin Williams.
No,
right. And Hook, I mean, that came out when I was a child. Also, I'm only 31, so that came out when I was a child. So there's a nostalgia factor there too.
Yup. There is, like, because that's why I was stuck on that one. I picked the other one, but like, all right, what was I burp? Excuse me.
But I'll be honest, it's the nostalgia factor that does it for me. I mean, The Greatest Showman's a good movie, and but yeah, I'm gonna let nostalgia take over. I normally don't do that. I'm normally not a nostalgic person. Like most movies from my childhood, I'm like, that movie. I go back and watch them. I'm like, that movie's kind of but nah, Hook stands the test of time.
I love this guy. So, all right, Hook it is. We got Hook. There's your vote. So the way we end every episode, I love it. The way we end every episode is we give a last-minute shot of positivity. I'll go first to show you how it goes, and then Brett, and then Elsa, and then you'll take us out. And that'll be the end of the show. If you want to sit around backstage for a minute, we'll catch up, tell you about other things we do. And, yeah, so, boom, let me do this. Guys, thank you for tuning in. What a wonderful, wonderful Elsa Brett, I'm using your F-bomb. It's been a wonderful fucking episode. This is the great fucking way to start the Monday because I used both of yours since neither of you used them. And I want to just tell it. Tomorrow you can have mine.
You should have saved one for me, man. I would have liked another one.
All right, Trent gets a second one. All right, I've given him a second one.
Next time. I appreciate you. I don't want to break the rules. You don't got to give me special treatment, man. I'll save it for next time.
Buddy, I've just used it 3 times already. Like, it's not like there's I break my own rules.
This is your show.
Touche. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This was a great episode. I have to be honest, I thought we were going to talk cartoons. I thought we were going to talk comedy. And while, yeah, we did, Trent opened our eyes to where following your dreams, pushing through, and not letting any shit get in your way. He showed us what that's like. Guys, tune in on Thursday. But most importantly, let's keep in touch with Trent because I want to watch his shows. I sent the link on that. Today is your first Monday of August. Tell someone for August Appreciation Month, reach out and tell somebody why you appreciate them. Just be different. Be exceptional. Be the best you can be because there's no one else in this world that's going to try to be you.
All right. Well, even though Brandon decided to take my F-bomb, I'm going to still use it because the one thing that I did over the past 2 weeks is I was out at Freedom Fest, which is a libertarian conference, and then I got a chance to see Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse and so forth. And right now, freedom is getting the same kind of is getting blocked much the same way as using the word fuck. And we need to focus on freedom and not let the world block us from doing the things that we want to be able to do, to say the things that we want to be able to say. One of the things I was actually putting in some stuff about mask.com, the COVID dating site, and that got blocked from coming through to the comments in StreamYard. And I'm like, this is bullshit. So fight for your freedoms, use the words that you choose to use, and don't let the governments and people block out our ability to speak our minds. And I think comedy is one way that those things get a chance to come out in ways that are not oftentimes blocked. I mean, look at these shows that Trenton was talking about. They talk about controversial topics and they don't get blocked out. And that's what I say we need to be able to do. Leverage comedy, whatever it takes, in order to be able to maintain our freedom.
I love you, buddy. All right,
hi,
you're
guys.
up.
So it's August. It's a new month, a new cycle. For new lessons, new miracles, everything new to start happening in your life. So leave the past behind you. Don't bring that into August. Don't bring July's problems into August. Don't bring July's issues into August. Just leave it in July and push forward. Doors are opening in August. Miracles are happening in August. Everything is turning for the better. So have an amazing Monday. And I want to leave you with this quote. Limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imagination, our possibilities become limitless. Go get Monday.
Well done.
First of all, thank you guys so much for having me. Had a lot of fun with you all today. Thanks for all the viewers who tuned in. I just kind of want to say one thing real quick. It's like she was saying, it's August. There's only 5 months left in 2021. The year has flown by. 2020 flew by, and time only seems to move faster and faster. So whatever it is that you've been putting off that you want to do, whatever it is, just jump in and start. The hardest part is starting. Once you start, you only have to go. Once you go a certain, whatever it is you're pursuing, you get so far in that you can't turn back. And you only have to go to the point of no return. Then everything else will kind of push you forward after that. So yeah, just whatever it is you want to do, jump in. And I want to share a couple pieces of advice that I got, some of the best advice I ever got in my life. Whenever I was in college, I had a professor who, and this was like the first class I took, one of the first classes I took my freshman year of college. And our professor told us, think backwards, in a sense of when I was saying, you know, I have this image of this old man version of me in my head that I want to become. Think about the end point. So our goal with the cartoons was always get a show on TV. And so that's the goal. So how do we get there? But you gotta know where you want to go before you can get there. So think backwards, think about the end point, and then work backwards from there. It's like doing a maze, right? If you start the maze at the end, you can figure it out quicker than starting at the beginning. And another piece of advice I got was, I had a professor one time, my senior year, who was telling us, because we're all seniors in college, we're about to go look for jobs, and he told us, wherever you want to work, whatever city you want to live in and work in, move there immediately. Don't live here and apply for a job in New York, because there's already applicants in New York. No one's going to fly you out for an interview. No one's going to take the time to interview you or wait for you to get there whenever it's Tuesday and they're trying to fill this position next Monday or the following Monday. They don't have time to wait for you. So they're going to take the applicants that are already there. So when I graduated college, I knew I wanted to live in San Diego. So I moved there. I didn't know anyone there. I just moved there and figured it out and eventually got a job. And it was hard. It was super hard. It wasn't easy. But so that's kind of how I make all my decisions. I figure out where I want to be and what I want to do, and then figure it out from there and just jump in head first. And I'd say that's like some of the best advice I ever got, to just jump in. And because otherwise someone's already there and they're going to take your spot. And if you want that spot, you gotta work for it and you got to fight for it. So I'll leave you all with that. Just think backwards, and wherever you want to be, whatever you want to do, jump in and speak it like it's real. Whenever I was starting, I was just making cartoons on YouTube and bartending. I bartended for a long time, paying my bills. But people asked me, what do you do? I was telling them I'm a cartoonist. I make cartoons. I didn't tell them I was bartending, because that was temporary. I'm a cartoonist. So whatever it is you want to do, and I know people here who are actors or actresses, and they wait tables at the same time, and they're like, well, I act and wait tables. No, you don't act and wait tables. You're an actor. You might wait tables to pay your bills, but you're an actor, or whatever it is you want to do. So just jump in and speak things into existence and live the life you're supposed to live. And whatever that life is, figure out your end goal and make it happen. And it can be done. And just reach out to people who are already doing it. They'll help you. They'll give you a hand up, not a handout. Don't confuse a hand up with a handout. Everyone will give you a hand up. No one's giving you a handout. So I'll say that.
Man, Trenton, you're going to be my new best friend. I just already declare it, like, just so you know.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'd be honored.
Oh, me too, buddy. So Miranda gave us the biggest compliment today. You guys kicked ass today. Happy Monday. Guys,
Thanks, Miranda.
Yeah. If you guys like the episode, please remember, like the usual YouTube pain in the asses that we have to be, go like, subscribe, and share with everybody, and hit that bell, as I'm supposed to say. So guys, do yourself a favor. Share this with somebody today and let them know why you appreciate them. Trenton, thank you so much again. Guys.
My pleasure.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Have a beautiful month.